Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Russell here, and over the past week, well, it's certainly been a volatile time for cryptocurrency, largely due to environmental and energy consumption concerns, and it's having some cryptocurrencies nosedive and others absolutely take off. So in today's video, we're going to talk about what the catalyst for all of this was, how individual cryptocurrencies could be more eco-friendly than other ones, as well as some coins and some cryptocurrencies that I think could do particularly well in the future if there's a continued emphasis on the eco-friendly and green push in cryptocurrency. Let's start with a little bit of context if you haven't been following over the past week. The price of Bitcoin, well, you can notice here one dramatic dip down on May 12th leading into May 13th, and the same exact thing happened here when I switch over to the Ethereum chart, right? We see a dip here happening around that May 12th time, May 13th. So it might have you wondering what exactly happened here, what news broke that might prompt this sort of sell-off of the two largest market cap cryptocurrencies. Well, to answer this question, we need look no further than Elon Musk and Tesla. Take a look at this tweet that was just put out right around again that evening of May 12th. They said, Tesla has suspended vehicle purchase using Bitcoin. We're concerned about rapidly increasing use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining and transactions, especially coal, which has the worst emissions of any fuel. Cryptocurrency is a good idea on many levels, and we believe it has a promising future, but this can't come at a great cost to the environment. This makes sense coming from a very eco-friendly company, or at least they like to sort of position themselves as that. Certainly Tesla does. And they say Tesla will not be selling any Bitcoin, and we intend to use it for transactions as soon as mining transitions to more sustainable energy. We're also looking at other cryptocurrencies that use less than 1% of Bitcoin's energy. Now, obviously, this last part of the tweet got people a little bit riled up saying, hey, what cryptocurrencies are they actually talking about here? It seems like they are not the biggest fan of Bitcoin right now. Are they going to transition to Doge? Are they going to transition to something else that's even more eco-friendly? Well, let's get into exactly where they could go from here. Well, to answer that question, we need to first understand how one cryptocurrency could be more eco-friendly than another one. And I'll preface this with saying I'm not an expert, and there are tons of people who are a whole heck of a lot smarter than me when it comes to this stuff. But based on my research, it's all because of the proof models for these different cryptocurrencies, right? When we think of Bitcoin or Ethereum, these larger cryptocurrencies, they use something you might have heard before, proof of work, proof of work. This is referring to all of the cryptocurrency miners, right, who are doing these complex and advanced computer calculations to verify the transactions on the blockchain of Bitcoin as well as Ethereum, right? The issue in some critics' eyes is that this takes a whole lot of energy to push all this computing power towards this goal of solving this complex computer calculation, right? It causes a lot of energy to be used, certainly because there are tons of different miners across the world who are all sort of competing and racing to solve this calculation, and even if they're not the ones who solve this computer calculation, well, they still had to put that energy in to attempting to solve it, even if they're not the ones that are rewarded for it. Like I said, this is called the proof of work model, and it does consume the most energy when it comes to how they're actually verifying the transactions on the blockchain. But there are some different proof models that are a little bit more eco-friendly, and it has a lot of people excited and a lot of people interested, especially given this recent tweet from Elon saying, hey, Bitcoin might not be the best right now because of this energy consumption. Well, there's actually a proof model called proof of stake, which has become more and more popular within the crypto space. Instead of using a network of miners to verify each and individual transaction like they do on the proof of work model, well, in the proof of stake model, they actually give the power to every single person who's holding that cryptocurrency, and proportional to the amount of the cryptocurrency they're holding, well, that's essentially their individual mining power. So instead of using all of these advanced graphics cards and using all of this computational power and energy, instead they're saying, hey, we're just going to award this cryptocurrency out based on how much of it you already have. And the most popular cryptocurrency that uses this proof of stake model is called Cardano. And you'll notice here, right around the time that we saw that nosedive for Bitcoin and Ethereum as well, right around this May 12th line, well, as the news broke in the coming days, people started doing more research. Hey, what are some more green cryptocurrencies? And you're going to see here that Cardano has actually skyrocketed since that tweet. So it has a lot of people curious about, okay, is this more where we're going if we're really worried about these environmental concerns? And especially given the fact that this is the most eco-friendly of the most popular cryptocurrencies, right? Right here you can see, it might be a little bit small for you, it's number 4 in terms of market cap for cryptocurrencies. So it's the 4th largest cryptocurrency that exists right now, behind Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the Binance coin. So because it's the largest of the cryptocurrencies that are using this proof of stake model, well, it's definitely benefiting from this concern over the proof of work model, right? And we can notice that actually in a tweet here from the creator of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson. He says, hey, Elon Musk, this is in reply to the first tweet, the energy tweet that we already went over. Are we finally going to have the Cardano conversation? Come to my farm in Longmont with Kimball, got sweet tea and mini donkeys, already obviously a little bit tongue-in-cheek here, but he's saying, hey, if you're worried about the environmental impacts here, well then talk to me about Cardano because we use proof of stake. We're a lot more environmentally friendly than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, Elon didn't reply to Charles's tweet at him. Maybe he's a little bit more focused on Dogecoin right now compared to Cardano, but it is interesting seeing people rotate out of Bitcoin, right, with these environmental concerns and into cryptocurrencies that use different models than the proof of work model, right? And there are some other models, even on top of proof of work and proof of stake, that are sort of developing here that could be even more green. And I'd recommend approaching this cryptocurrency with a little bit of caution because it's very new. It's only started verifying transactions over the past week here, but it's something called CHIA or XCH. That's sort of like the ticker symbol for the currency. You'll see here, since that tweet, that eco-friendly tweet from Elon, well, we've seen it absolutely skyrocket as well, almost doubling since that tweet. And it's a little bit different. It doesn't use proof of stake. It doesn't use proof of work. It uses something called proof of space and time. And to me, this almost seems a little bit like a hybrid between proof of work and proof of stake. With proof of work, just to verifying these transactions with advanced calculations. Okay, it takes a lot of energy. Proof of work or proof of stake, we're just going to give the power to everybody who's holding the currency to verify the transactions. Well, proof of space and time, it's actually making use of unused storage space on computers to be the sort of power behind verifying and creating new cryptocurrency on the CHIA network. Now, they claim to be a lot more green and a lot more eco-friendly because they're only making use of the extra storage space on people's computers, whether it be on their hard disk drive or their solid state drive, or maybe even CHIA miners are going to be buying extra storage space to be able to do this. But essentially, they give out the currency proportional to how much of your extra space you've allocated to mine this cryptocurrency, this CHIA currency. Now, like I said, this is a pretty new network, so approach with caution. I don't personally hold any, but I am interested in it when anytime there's a new model for proof of stake, proof of work, right? This proof of space and time. I want to know a little bit more about how it works so I can have a better idea of what's actually working behind the scenes here. But is any of this really going to impact how I'm investing going forward? Well, for me, not too much. I like to invest for the long term, the extreme 10-year plus. And when it comes to that time range, I still am bullish on things like Bitcoin and Ethereum. I also hold a little bit of Cardano. The reason I'm not too worried about these ecological impacts and the concerns about the environment in relation to proof of work is that it's seeming like more and more the energy that's being used to verify these transactions, well, it is eco-friendly energy, solar energy, wind energy, maybe even geothermal energy, right? And I think that as the cost of that goes down, while more and more crypto miners are going to be switching over to using that energy because they're looking for profits. They want to use the least expensive energy, and I think that that will actually help bring forward the cheapening and the more accessibility of these more renewable resources, this renewable energy, instead of using things like oil and coal. Also, there's been a lot of work going on within the Ethereum network to actually transition Ethereum away from proof of work and into proof of stake, just like Cardano. Now, if they are able to do that successfully, I think it could be very interesting, especially given the amount of developers that have already bought into the Ethereum network. It seems like that is a place that's very promising for development of maybe the decentralized finance space and more dApps being created on the Ethereum network. So if they're able to switch over to this more eco-friendly proof of stake, well, then that could certainly be an interesting thing in the future of Ethereum. But for now, I'm just staying the course, not changing things up too much because, again, like I said, these short-term fluctuations, they're not too important for me. I'm looking at the long term and I still feel comfortable being invested in the place that I've invested, even though there's this growing concern about the environmental impacts. And that leads me to wonder a little bit, what do you think of all of this? Are you someone who's going to rotate out of Bitcoin and maybe invest in something like Cardano or CHIA, right? Or do you think that this is all a little bit overblown, it's going to sort of pass over in a few weeks. More things are going to transition into renewable energy, so we don't need to worry. Bitcoin and Ethereum, well, they're here to stay. What do you think? Either way, let me know down in the comments. I read every single one, and I try to reply to as many as I possibly can. And while you're down there, let me know if I've missed anything. I'm just an average guy here trying to make sense of a space that certainly I believe is going to be around for the long term, so I'm trying to stay as up to date as I can with it. Let me know what I missed. Maybe I should do more research on a certain space. Let me know down in the comments. I'll use that to sort of craft what I look at in future videos. And with all that said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that it helped you out at least a little bit, and I'll see you next time.
This channel is supported by viewers like you. Thanks, channel members.